I've gone back on Wonderland Models to check up on some Schleich stuff, and this came up, and beforehand it was not available for pre-order. It can be pre-ordered below, but it won't be available till August. I really want this. This looks so cool. And I'm watching a film that's in the background. I've already showed you guys all this because in a previous video, but and this. Hold on, please say. Don't say the same thing. Okay. It will be available in 12 days. So, oh my gosh, I want that as well. There, I want so much of this stuff because it's all really cool. But I'll probably have to save up for it myself, but that's okay. I don't have any birthdays coming up till August to save up for. So that's good. I was thinking of getting this. I saw it in the shops, so it is available in one of my shops. I don't know if I want it. Oh, I really want this leopard as well. Maybe I'll get that next week. Well, we've got the large one, but that's £90. Don't know if my parents will be okay with paying that much. Or I could buy it myself. Maybe I'll do that. And then you've got horse box, EU horse box. So yes, I have to wait till August for one of those things. So I have just been seeing Gods of Egypt at cinema. I showed you photos of the tickets because honestly I was a baby and there were so many people in the lounge. I was just like, I don't feel comfortable filming. And when we got back out I was like, I will film me coming out and saying it, but I actually forgot. Typical me, but it was a decent film. I think I'll talk about it like I did with As for Looking Glass later because I really need to think about it more. It was a film with a lot going on, and honestly there was only about 10 people in the play, so overall 10. Like, all the seats were pretty much empty. We were the only 4 people in the row on the edge because my dad has crutches and he has to be at the edge. But it's a little bit sort of like, okay. So Aussie says Father's Day, that's why we went out, and we've got my grandparents coming around this evening, which means loads and loads of snacks. A sweet buffet again, like when my aunt and uncle and sometimes cousin come over. But yes, it was a decent film, but I shall inform you of more later. Here is my sweet bowl / crisps. You got a few bits under here. You got the crisps, you got some nuts, you got some sweets under here which you can't quite see. Some chocolate. I've just come upstairs because I've been talking to my grandparents downstairs. I didn't want to rush straight up to my bedroom once they came round, but I'll head back there for seconds. Yes. Right, so I'm gonna give you guys my views on the movie and then go end the vlog. I went to see Gods of Egypt, obviously, because I've been talking about it, and it was a very action film. It didn't leave you any time to get your head around. It was definitely not a complicated storyline, so it wasn't one that you would get confused by as it went on. But you had these gods. Obviously it's called Gods of Egypt. They're mainly evolved around these gods. Now at first you know who the main gods are, but then their servants or the people that help them, like the architect, the one in charge of building, at first you're a bit like, are you a god as well, or are you just a human these gods have taken with? So basically the gods in Egypt have created the humans, and apparently they like their creation so much they go down to live with the humans but become royalty. So one of them, sorry I don't remember the names, comes down, becomes king. Now his son, these are major spoilers, so if you want to see it just don't watch this part. This is what I remember from it. He comes down, he's with his wife and he's about to crown his son as king. And basically it's all going well, and then his brother arrives. But it's a good thing because even though his brother's got this big army that cuts through the crowd, you get this sense of it's not that bad, it's just his brother. He said, I didn't expect to see you here, but again, it's not in a bad way, it's in a sort of just casual tone. But then things start to get a bit suspicious because his brother, the way he was dressed, one, the brother looks so much younger than King. The King's got grey hair and everything. He's got a little snip beard, but this one has brown hair. He looks young, muscly, and I have to admit, my mum thought the King's son and him were brothers, and that is totally understandable because if you compare the two, they look a lot alike age-wise. Anyway, so it turns out he's a bad guy. The King goes to hug him. Now remember, this is a god. They are all gods, these three, and possibly the wife. I still need to make sure she is. I don't know. Guess what? The son stabs him. And no offence, but if you're a king, you're probably going to have people who want to kill you. And you will have guards, you know. Usually you would be prepared. But no, and also, if you're a god, you're immortal, right? So you can't just get killed. But apparently he does. He gets stabbed. Maybe I didn't notice. Maybe it's by a certain magical weapon that can kill gods. Maybe gods can kill gods, but mortals can't kill gods, or the other way around. Sorry. So anyway, I'm trying to wrap my head around how a king dies, and this king sort of like, basically his son and his brother fight, and while they're fighting he's dying. So obviously his death is sort of secondary, or focusing on the big fight, and the gods can transform into these forms. But no offence, the king's last words were totally flat. You had no feelings for when he died. I didn't. I was like, oh, just this character I was introduced to 2 minutes ago dies. So, but I guess he's not important to the story, so you can't really build up on it too much. But I would have liked to felt a bit upset. And then the son's powers get taken, his immortal powers, by grabbing his eyes, which I guess are the source of his powers. Now, I don't know much about Egyptian gods, but I know when I was younger I was a big fan of the Egyptian culture and everything. I'll talk more about that another time. But he took his eyes out and he became blind. The son took over, and it's all this big story on him trying to get his crown back. And there's this mortal who has this girlfriend, and there's this thing at the start that what is more powerful than so-and-so? Love. So I was like, it's going to be a love story between these two. It's going to be lovely and kissy, and so the ones I don't like. I like action. This woman is a stereotypical one. There's nothing really, no offence, special about her. She believes in Raman. Sorry. The god that her partner helps out with. I really need to know these names, but they've got various different names. Anyway, he goes off and hides because he's blind. He's been humiliated by his uncle. This sounds a lot like Hamlet. Oh my gosh, my brain linking it to Lion King made sense in my head. So he goes off, and this mortal wants to sort of save him. He wants to take the kingdom back. Now, one thing I didn't get about this film, his partner, when all this happens, you're either really rich or really poor, because there's this thing about the U leader says the only way you're going to get into the good life is you're going to go with loads of gold, and obviously the only way you're going to get loads of gold is if you're rich and if I like you. So he's not like the other one who said everyone's going to get eternal life in heaven if you've done good to others. So he's like the bad guy. But one, how did the other main characters, the mortal's partner, become like a secretary to one of the big people? What was so special about her? I don't remember them saying. Maybe she was wearing the dress when it all happened and they picked her out. Two, he actually goes to visit her. Now he's a slave down there, and obviously they're partners and he wants to see her, but how bad of security must you have? I mean, seriously, this guy is a main architecture. He knows the king. Surely you'd have better security than that. Really? You'd no security? And then, surprise, surprise, he gets caught the one time we meet him. He's apparently done this loads of times and never been caught. That's one thing I had a problem with, because I was like, that is not real. No matter how stealthy you are, you show no signs of sort of being able to climb over walls when we first met you. Doesn't make sense. What also doesn't make sense is he is, one, able to grab a map that describes exactly what a tomb looks like that holds the king's son's eyes, but only one of them. Plot convenience, only one of them. How do they, one, leave maps like that to the tombs that explain so much with very little security that lets these people in the first place? How is there not anyone guarding these scrolls? Because if it was me, I'd be guarding it. I wouldn't want anyone. And also in a world where there are other gods, it's not just those three, there are other gods out there. There are all the sort of Egyptian gods you could think of. So why they're not security in it? I do not get that. That's one thing that really annoyed me. And you can tell my voice. So anyway, shocking, he gets caught. But he manages to get through this tomb so fast. It's like, read the map. Or the shadow apparently counts for weight on the first bridge and it snaps up like a bear trap. And then he goes across the second time, nothing happens. So I assume the trap thought that it had already killed its victim. So second time let him across. I'm just going to double check it's still recording. Yes, it's still recording. So second bridge, these sort of swords come across and he manages to dodge out the way. Again, where did you get those skills? I didn't see any of those skills, but anyway, he's got those. Third bridge, she's like, oh, this is not on the map. Shocking. And all it is it basically collapses and he manages at the last moment to jump up and grab it. Now, I have no problem with him being able to grab it, but it's sort of the way he falls as he grabs it. He sort of just stops for a moment and then falls. And then you've got these whole scorpions at the bottom and he shines the eye, gives it back to the gods. This is something. This is another thing that annoys me. The jump cuts on this. Like, we jump cut to him scaring away scorpions and then we jump cut to him back at the house with his partner. That is a very, very long distance to do a jump cut. You're not going to show us how he got out? Like, sure, I guess he could climb the mound of gold, but yeah, I need a lot of things to explain. Not because I don't know what's going on, but I like that. Anyway, they escape because he's obviously been caught stealing the scroll. And basically they ride around, they run through the streets in a carriage pulled by a horse away with his girlfriend. And the architecture, sort of the big boss, manages to shoot her in the heart. And she dies on the way to the tomb where the previous god was that lost his eyes. Her harm something H. I'm sorry, this is so bad. Honestly, they didn't really build up her character enough. I mean, no offense, there was nothing special about her. I liked how she was faithful to that god and just no matter what he did, she never gave up on him. But at the same time, when she died, I was just like, okay, let's go. Because I guess she didn't really add it. Same sort of thing as the main mortal. Those two, and even the god, were kind of flat characters. And actually, my favourite character was the villain. Out of all of them, he was my favourite character. Or the most intelligent god, I'm trying to remember his name. I actually saw him perform in Boy, which I vlogged. To see him on the big screen, and to be able to see him on stage, and you're like, and he was from Doctor Who, and you're like, oh, well done. That would be my ultimate dream. But after seeing him on stage, you feel like you know him. Anyway, the whole film is sort of his quest to get back his crown. And he promises the mortal he can bring his girl back when in the end he can't. Which is a shame. But again, you know, that might just be fate. You know, you might not be able to do anything about it. But anyway, you've got all these big battles against these gods, and you get the evil one taking the wings off one, taking the heart off one, taking the brain out of the intelligent one. I guess basically building his armour. So there's this big fight at the end. The mortal is left behind because, no, actually he goes up. He has a big fight with the architect because obviously he is pretty mad at him for killing his partner, and I can't blame him. And So he survives and he tries to help the immortal, but he eventually leaves him at a village when he's injured. And they have this big fight. Now there's one thing I had a problem with, was he used all his powers he got from the gods, but he never seemed to use the intelligence from the god he stole from, who character was played by the man from Boy. I love him. I love him now. Anyway, so he seems to use all the powers of everyone else, use wings for flight, but he never seems to use the god's brain. And that's one problem I had. I was like, hold on, you've got brute strength, first of all, that's good. But now you're really intelligent. You could have used that against. Anyway, he dies. Everyone's happy. You know, everything's restored. And yes, but I still think the bad guy's the best character because he's actually got character to him. And I know I recognise the actor from somewhere, which I'm going to look up on my laptop and then just tell you guys just before I end the vlog, because it's going to drive me nuts otherwise. Okay, I admit I was wrong. The actor I was thinking of from the Playboy was not in this film. I apologise. It was Chadwick Boseman who played the, I guess, intelligent god. Horus, that was the main one I was talking about. And where is the villain? Oh, the villain is somewhere. Hold on. I'm just going to check because I've had to look this up. I'm going to go on images. Okay, so here are the characters, or some of them we have here, not all of them. Now this guy is my favourite. This is the mortal. This is Chadwick. This is an actress. And this is Horus. I'm sorry, you're my favourite. I really like you. I really like his character. So these are just some images here. And yeah, it was a decent film. But as I said, nothing too special. So I'm going to end the vlog here. I've still got to edit it and everything, so that's going to be a load of fun. But hopefully this will be up before midnight by the time I edit it. So hope you guys enjoyed it.